So here we go. We finally got our parts in here for some LED lighting. This may be, as you know, we've been working on the addition here, and that's the reason for the lighting. I may probably make this a separate video, included in the total video for the addition here for the Grande Pacific staging, additional staging yard. But I'll probably break this out and just put it in as an LED lighting thing. We ordered this off Amazon, and I'm going to point this out. This is the power supply that's going to drive the lights. This was some electrical cords. You need to be able to put electricity to this device. It does not come with its cord. You have to add it, so don't go throw away those old electronic things without cutting cords off. I've saved stuff over the years. It pays off. We're going to put a switch in this, so we have a rocker switch thing, a plate, so that we can run the cables in here and put a switch in it and then go to the unit to turn it off and on. Also going to have some fuses. These are 12 volt, 15 amp fuse. That's a 15 amp fuse in here, automotive stuff. That there's two of them because there's two strings of these LED lights. Didn't quite understand what came in, but this LED strip is located inside a plastic housing. Now, you can cut this up and use it in shorter lengths. This is 16.4 feet. I have two of them, and of course, we're going to use all 34 feet of it. Now, seeing this come in and how it's all going to work, the plan is right now, and we'll see how it goes, and you'll see me mount up all this. Have to have something to put this underneath the bench work here. And what you see, that grid right there, is what basically the bottom side of this bench work looks like. So we have to mount it up to the grid underneath. And what we're going to use is, the plan is J-track for vinyl siding. As it turns out, I have about 8 or 9 pieces of this, and I think it's 20 feet long. We're going to go up in the attic and get it. But this right here is very smooth. This right here will allow me to attach this to the 1x4s underneath. This will be sticking down underneath this section right here. And I can double stick tape to that and the back of this. And put it right up on the bottom of there. Run it to the middle, which is about where that little platform is, and that's where we'll mount up the power supply and the switch. And there's a plug right there on the wall to get our electric from, and that way I can feed both units, both sections, and that one power supply will take care of the two from the middle, and then we don't have an excessively long run, because there are limits on running this. So it is best that you use some type of bus wire to get to each section. It appears that you get out about 16 feet in length. From everything I'm seeing, you need to be running off another feed from the power supply. There is definite restrictions on all the instructions about getting out too long. You also get into situations where you'd be drawing too many amps, even on with the LEDs. This is 650 LEDs. It's double LEDs on this strip. So that's it says in the instructions that it draws about 9. You can draw up to 9 amp. No. Anyway, it's that gets into the limit range here that you don't want to get to where you start stringing them together. It could cause a resistance, and that's the reason we're putting the fuse in. There's enough heat here involved to where you could possibly have a fire. So better be safe than sorry. Fuses do their job. All right, so we're going to start playing with this, and we'll video it as we go. The package, it comes in, the LEDs was right here. We got all this off Amazon, okay? So you'll get to see it as we get it done. Okay, necessity, the mother of invention. So we got some double stick tape out, and it's under there, but it's not going to work as far as holding it. So the old proverbial wire ties. They actually make a clip to hold this. You can buy, but you still have to have something to mount it up to. And I don't want it sagging down underneath the where it's going, so we'll see that later. So we've gotten that done, and we've connected all this up. We run it over here to our power supply, which currently we have plugged into a plug expander thing here. So it's got a switch in it, so we turn the switch on and we have light. Lots of light. So now the next step is putting all this together and getting it mounted up. Get this mounted up underneath the layout, which it's going to sit on that board. It's got a fan in it. It says on it that it's automatic. You have to watch right here on the side, make sure this is set for 110 volts. Very easy to check. It says it on the switch. So, this is the wiring set up in the front. We had that cord that I showed you with the male plug on it, right there. And we just wired it up, and it's very clear here on the front. The white is in neutral, the L is black line, and the other symbol is for the ground. So we have it all done. We have, in this case, we're going to be running 2 strips of lights off of here, so we have 3 terminals, so we'll only be using 2. And actually our 2 strips they don't peak this out. We got a good 15 or 20% left as far as the rating on this power supply, but couldn't run much else off of it. Once we get the 2 strips hooked up, that'll be about it. So don't want to overtax things. Believe me, you overtax them and they get hot, and then you have problems. So we're going to do this with a switch. We're going to put a switch into the line here. So we got a little bit of maneuvering to do as far as getting this all set up. We'll be moving on down the road and be back later. Okay, what we've done here in this continuing process, this is going to be the switch that turns the lights off and on. It's just this is a regular, I forget what they call, rocker arm type switch. We'll put a panel on it, and then this gets mounted. We have to turn it over like so, but it gets mounted right there. So you reach, I'll put a little yellow arrow, and you reach underneath there and you trigger the switch. Just like a regular light switch. This right now is 110 volts. So you have to meet the code. It has to be in a box. And we have the heavy 110 volt wire running in and running out. Now, I found another old cable I cut off, and that'll be the plug for the wall on that side. This side I will cut off when I figure the length out to run back and connect here on the front of the power supply. Now, that's 110 volts in here, and then that's 12 volts DC out on this side for the LEDs. So that's the game we're playing here. So that'll give me my switch. So on to now we're going to punch holes in our J-strip, figure this out, and punch it, put the LEDs on it. We'll have to figure out, that's only 12 feet. It has to be 16.48 feet. And then we'll mount all this up, get one side working, and then we'll do the other side. So this is today's project. Got a visitor today. Hi, Cooper. Okay, so there we are. So we've attached the 16.4 long foot strip of LEDs. And again, this is what's called 600 count 50/50 LEDs. In the way they're saying 50/50, I learned this reading the thing the other night, is the LED is 50 by 50 in size. If it's, the numbers are different, then it's, you may see it be rectangular, different shape. But in this case, it's 50/50, so you see they're little squares. So anyway, we have this attached. Now the piece coming off the end, I was going to try to go ahead and I have another piece to add on to get the 16.4, and then it dawned on me, I don't know exactly how this is going to mount up and where the cross members are going to be. So I will finish the last piece here once we have this piece mounted. And mounting this is going to be simple. Those little slots right there are going to come in real handy to put a screw in right into the 1x4 underneath the layout. And that'll be the side, because this will mount up like this. The 1x4 will be up here. So we'll just run the screw right into it, and that'll make it simple. And that's what we're going to go do right now. We're going to mount this up so we can try to figure out where all the rest of the stuff should be underneath here. Pretty much know where the transformer and the switch is, because we're going to go off the switch in the wall. If we need extra wire, we're going to use the wire right there. And also you'll notice there is our two fuses. So we can make the, we got to put the fuses in the circuit. But that goes once we get it mounted up. On we go here. So mounting this up, and this is what we're going to do right now. This is, we tend to want to be towards the front. The area which will be down here is 2 feet wide from the front edge. The last 6 inches, which you'll see once I get the whole project done, just happens to be where those braces will fall. That 1x2 is going to come off and go down here at the bottom, and then the 1x4 is going to sit right where that 1x2 is on these sections over here. But first we're going to put the lights up, because believe me, we would have a hard time doing this project later on. So this is what we're looking at to put this up. So we're going to get the screws out and do this next. There's the screws and the drill. So here we go. Okay, so we got the first 12 feet mounted up here. And you can see that just a little zip screw right into the 1x4 underneath. And it all works out real well. Now, I got to be honest with you, the J-track was just an idea to hold this stuff so it mounts up. I'm sure there's 100 different ways you could do this, and we just don't want the lights sagging. And you can see they're up here. I did not pull the little wire ties tight because that crushes the strip and the little rubber thing it's in. And believe me, a lot of the wire ties a lot of the light LED strips you're going to see don't have this rubber on it. Actually, everything I've seen did not have it. No one I know that's used it had this like this. So it all works out. Now we're going to go, as you see right there, the J-track at the end didn't match up where the 1x4 is in. This is actually the end of a section. So we're going to fix that up. And I got an idea on how to do that. And we'll show you that when we get to it. Then we'll put the transformer and everything up in its shelf. And we'll go from there. All right. Okay, we're going to insert. We have to cut the wire there to go the loop. But would you buy these off of, this was all sold off of Amazon. Same thing. This is 12-volt automotive, and that is a 15-amp fuse, if I get it to focus here. Okay, so we're going to put this little fuse holder on each. We're going to have two of them, one on each string of lights. I think they, in the instructions, were about 8. Some people who have used this 600 type LED at this link said they really only get to draw about 6 to 7 amps. So we're well fused here, but just in case this thing were to heat up or something, safety is best way to go here. So this is the fuse we're going to put in line. So off to getting back underneath and getting this all set up. Wow. Results. We've now gotten the first section in, got the power supply installed. The next section will be a lot easier because we don't have to fool with a lot of these things. We have a switch right here. I have to put a marker where it is so when you walk along you'll be able to reach out and touch it. But switch turns it off, turns it on. So showed you the switch earlier, but that's all mounted up. That's the plug leading to the power supply. Well, that leads to the switch that leads to the power supply. Going to tuck that away a little better. Of course, you wouldn't be able to see that. Once we get the other piece in there, that'll be on the floor. But we have some things to move around, so we need a little extra cord. We're going to need it to be able to move around underneath there. But this is the way it finally comes up with the J-track and the lights and the transformer is sitting up here. And the transformer is sitting up here on a shelf, and you can hear the fan running. Also, you see right there is the fuse on this circuit. So we have to get the other one put in place, and that'll be what we'll do the rest of the afternoon. And this gives you a little good place to mount the lights to. The J-track thing worked out just fine. Simple to run some zip screws up back into the bottom of the thing. And as you can see, there is a ton of light emitted by these LEDs, excuse me, light emitting diodes, okay, LED. And again, these are 50/50, 600, not 300 count, 600 count LED strips. And what you're looking at right here is 16.4 feet. Okay. Okay, a little detail here on mounting these up on this vinyl siding J-strip. Ever full with vinyl siding, this is the piece that goes up against the corner to end where the sheets go in. Irrelevant to what we're doing here, it just happens to be something that mounts up easily, had left laying around extras, and it's perfect for carrying these LED light strips thing. So what we're going to do here is I got a drill set up. The drill set up here with a nice size bit. The bit's only designed so we can pass the wire tie through it. So it's, as you can see, the wire tie is about the same diameter as the bit. So to start off with, we'll just punch a hole up in here in the first one and up close to the top so we can wire tie it in and get started. So we get the first one put on this section, and there's the hole right there with the wire tie. Now you notice I'm not pulling these real tight. There's no weight here involved. It's just a matter of keeping it, using this to hang the LED strip off of it. So believe me, the wire tie in this situation, it does not have to be snugged up, and if you snug it too tight, in this case the LEDs are in a little plastic case, so it crunches those down. I really don't want to do that, so it's not necessary, as I've shown in the video from the one we've installed. But then we'll come back and cut that end off, and we're ready to hook up the next strip as soon as we go down and we attach this whole thing all the way down. Now this is 12 feet. This strip too is 16 feet long. We're going to actually end up with a little bit left over on this one, and we're going to run it up underneath the dark area, up underneath here where we keep some tools, so it'll give us some lighting. Let's talk about options on this lighting. Now, if I were to be installing LED strips here on this level, which granted, now this was put in 10 years ago, and we went with, look, the last remaining incandescent light bulbs. Right next to it is an LED replacement bulb. But the whole problem with all of this is it's 110 volts. If we were going to do this, if we're building today, or if, say 5 years ago, we would have gone with this, okay? There wouldn't be all this 110 volts and all those fixtures. But let's talk about one other aspect here. Using this channel here, it hangs down a good inch. So your LED light bulbs would be sticking, or strips would be sticking down. Now, on my eye vision right here, this is 60 inches, so this is 56. So if I put LED strips in, I want to put them up as close to the bottom as I can. So in that case, you might want to just get a piece of Luan, rip it. You could take innumerable types of adhesive, run a bead along it, and then just take your strip and stick it to it, or just loop a mini wire ties around like I did here. It would hold it up to the strip, but then again, your total thickness, as you can see, what I'm trying to show you is the LED strip in the 1/4 inch Luan is a lot thinner than that is. So many options to use the LED lights in various places. Again, same thing over here. You wouldn't want to have that, use that J strip hanging down underneath over here for lighting. Again, this has all got, I think this has all got CFI light bulbs. Okay, so now we have, for all intents and purposes, a completely finished product. Gonna do a little catch up on the end down there where the piece is hanging loose. I'm gonna put hook it to a strip of wood and run it across in some area that was dark anyway. So other than that, we've got it done. Excellent results here. Lots of light. So with the rest of the lights out, you can see you really get a really great idea how much light this puts out. Really works good. Just got to fix up one little piece here on the end and we'll have everything just the way we need it so we can start the rest of this project to put the storage yarn in. So I'm going to put a wrap on the LED part here. We'll include the LED segment of the video in the total project video here, but we're going to make a separate video up for this part. So another Grande Pacific adventure here. Or as Earl said he'd like to hear, Grande Pacific production.